Hi guys, so a slightly different video today. I'm going to do a bit of a video on the bike, the Hidoes B6. Just give you a closer look at it, explain what upgrades I've done to it so far, explain what problems I'm still finding with it, and some other upgrades I might want to do. So I've brought it into the house today. Welcome to what we call the Harry Potter room, which is all Harry Potter themed, which also doubles as my room that I bring the bike into if I'm going to do any work on it. We've just got some towels down to protect the carpet, and we've got my two little helpers. You helping, Jerry? Yeah? Okay. So when the bike came, it obviously just came with a one battery, which isn't in there at the moment. It goes in here. It's over there on the floor. I found that the range wasn't what it was quoted to be. I could probably do about 20 miles on the single battery. So I added a second one, which is underneath the back seat here. It's almost the same size. That one's a 15 amp hour. This one's 15.5. So literally doubled the range. So I can get sort of 40 to 50 miles out of it now. It already came with a rear light, which is also a brake light. But I did add the indicators on the rear and indicators on the front, which do work quite well. So you get that sort of effect. And so that you know which indicator is working, there's little lights on the back, so you can actually see which side is on. Display is fairly basic. Gives you your speed, your miles that you've done. So far I've done 305 miles on it. And you've got your pass settings and your battery level. That's where the camera mounts. It's where my phone mounts. We added a USB socket down here, which also gives you your voltage. So we're on 47.2 volts at the moment. That gives me two USB sockets underneath, which is, you can switch that on and off. A little switch on the bottom. One of the big problems with it was storage, because obviously you've got the big seat. There isn't actually a lot of room on the bike to carry any storage. I managed to find a little bag that goes in here, which has just got some basic tools in it. A little battery compressor for bumping up the tyres. There's another little bag up here, which just keeps my gloves and glasses and sunglasses and stuff like that. I have got in the post, but it hasn't arrived yet, a bottle rack, which I should be able to mount on the forks. Obviously there's nowhere on the frame to put one, so you can't really take a drink with you, but this one apparently mounts on the forks, so it's probably going to go here somewhere, but that's not come yet. So it's very comfortable. It's got good suspension. This is all adjustable. I've wound it up a little bit because I'm a little bit heavier than maybe the average person, but it seems to do the job quite well. We've got, again because of storage, I bought this clip-on bike lock, which actually clips onto the frame, so that sits there quite nicely in the little triangle section. So one of the major problems I've found is mud. Because of these dinky little mud guards that it's come with, I tend to get a lot of mud chucked up underneath here, which is a real pain to try and clean. And it tends to get all around the wiring. Obviously there is a bit of extra wiring on this, which is the indicators and stuff. So as for fitting everything, it was fairly simple. The bike's controller is underneath the seat, so it's just a case of taking that off. There's 3 bolts on each side, you can lift that off. There was a metal plate under here anyway. I did have to move the controller slightly to be able to drill holes for the mounting bracket for this battery. So that's bolted in onto the metal plate at the bottom, which in turn is screwed into the frame. The controller I'd had to basically lift slightly to get those extra bolts in underneath. Then I needed a splitter for the power supply. So obviously that battery are connected together up there into a splitter, and then the indicators are on a second splitter underneath, because they're powered directly from the batteries. They're 48 volt indicators, as is the USB. It's a 48 volt USB adapter. So the extra wiring is basically the extra battery, the indicators, and the USB unit, which is all wired in to where the original battery power went into the controller, with 2 splitters, which basically just, you plug one into the main one, gives you another 2, plug another one into one of them, gives you another 2, which gave me enough to just plug everything else in. Not overly complicated, but yeah, these dinky little mud guards really not doing the job. It's an absolute pain when I go through the mud and I come back and it's all splattered up the bottom. The battery here is absolutely covered in it, which isn't going to do it any good. It gets all up under here around all this wiring, as you can see. So today we're going to give it a good clean. I'll do another shot of it once it's all cleaned, but I'm going to take the bag off, the other bag off, give it all a good clean, get all the mud out of the gears, get that all oiled up. We do have, where did I put it? Up there. We do have some all-weather, sorry my camera screen keeps going off, some all-weather chain lube and gear lube, which is supposed to be very good. We've got all our tools, cleaning stuff ready in there. So yeah, that's the plan. Oh, and here's the mud guards, come from Cycle Mania. Don't know what they're going to be like, I haven't opened them yet, but we will find out by the end of this video. So I'm going to stop there. I'm going to get on with taking all these bags and stuff off, giving it a good clean. I'll keep putting the camera on and off as I go through, when I'm putting the mud guards on, oiling the chain, etc. And we'll see what it looks like at the end. But yeah, I mean, I've had this bike 6 months now, haven't had an issue with it. So like I say, any issue I did find with it, I've rectified. I found it needed more battery power if you wanted to do long distance rides. The lack of a USB socket was a little bit irritating, because it meant I had to carry a battery bank when I went out on a long ride, but because there isn't a lot of room for putting a battery bank on here anywhere, that was a bit of a pain. Indicators I just find very handy in the road, so that if you've got to go over into the middle to make a right turn, at least cars know what you're doing You haven't got to take your hands off the handlebars. So yeah, one other thing that's been annoying me the last couple of rides is a very squeaky front brake, so I'm going to try and rectify that today. Probably just needs the caliper realigning, so we'll have a go at that as well. But all in all, it's a pretty solid bike. I can't really complain about it. Like I say, UK law, I've got it restricted at the moment in the controller to 15.5 miles an hour. I will do a short unrestricted run just to show you what the full capability of it is, but then I'll be putting it back into legal specs just in case I do get pulled over and questioned, etc. But yeah, it's capable of about 30 miles an hour, but like I say, in the UK that's not allowed, but as long as it's restricted to 15.5 it's not really an issue. But yeah, it's a very comfy bike, long rides. So yeah, I'm going to get on with getting these mudguards fitted, giving it a good clean, getting some fresh oil on the gears and the chains, and I'll catch you with some clips as I go along. Right, let's open these mudguards up and see what we're working with. Okay. I don't really know if these are going to be any better looking at them. Oh, it's definitely longer. Oh, yes. It just depends on where I can get it mounted, really. What sort of mountings we have available. The bracket is down there. Oh, that's definitely going to help if I can get it mounted down there. So it's adding a fair bit of length to where it was. Should keep the mud off a lot better. Again, the front one is a fair bit longer. I think if I was to mount it that way, so most of it comes down the back end there. Okay, well, we'll see if we can get them fitted, see where we go. I'll catch you in a minute. Okay guys, so a bit of an unexpected find. So to be able to get this mudguard off, I had to remove the back wheel because I needed to get to those two screws. But on removing the back wheel, to my surprise, I found that this nut here and washer that was holding on the right hand side of the front wheel, as in this side, I got it all undone, went round to the other side to undo the one on that side and discovered there wasn't one. So that nut had completely shook itself loose and fallen off. There was actually no nut holding the wheel on the left hand side. So I've been quite lucky there that the wheel didn't have some sort of an issue. I'm going to go down the local bike shop now, take this wheel with me and see if I can get a nut and a washer. I might pick up a bottle of thread lock or a locking washer or something like that, just to try and stop that from happening again. Front ones are fine. They're both still on there, but I will check them for tightness. So yeah, that was a bit of a useful discovery. Just goes to show it's worth bringing it in every now and then, giving it a good proper clean and check over. Yeah, we got a lot of mud under there as well, so I can get that out now. Okay, I'm going to crack on. I'll give you any updates as I go along. Hello everybody. So we cleaned this wheel up a bit and we took it down to the bike shop to see if we could get the new nut and washer for the side. Now he did try and put new ones on, and he tried every size he had, 12mm, 13mm, 14mm, 15mm, and none of them fit. Bearing in mind this is a Chinese import, it would appear that they still use imperial where we use metric, so therefore you can't actually get a nut that fits this back tyre in the UK. Just something to bear in mind if you're buying one of these. But luckily he had some scrap e-bike hub wheels out the back, and eventually we found one with nuts on that fit, because obviously that was also a Chinese import. So I've got that one and it fits, and he gave me the one off the other side as well, just in case I ever need another spare. I did also buy a different rear mudguard because he had a big, decent heavy duty looking one which was a lot wider than the ones I'd bought off the internet. And he didn't even charge me for the nuts, he only charged me for the mudguard. So shout out to Sanders Cycles down in Burntwood. Always very helpful. If you've got any issues, just go in there and see them. So yeah, well worth a visit. But I'm going to carry on with this, get it cleaned up, see if I can get this mudguard fitted. I'll catch you in a while. Hello everyone. So that took a bit longer than I thought it would. Had to take the back wheel off. It was a bit of a struggle to get back on my own, but we are done. So the bike's been stripped down and cleaned and polished. It's looking very, very shiny. So we've got new rear mudguard, which now goes out beyond the seat. It's strapped directly onto the frame. Everything's now nice and clean. I moved this shield slightly, put some new holes in it. It used to come down here, but I always used to get a lot of mud up here, so I've moved that up slightly to see if that solves that problem. Front mudguard's still the same. The two that I bought online just aren't wide enough. This is the one from the bike shop, so I might pop down there again and have a look for a front one. The bottle holder is absolutely perfect, just clips onto the forks, so that's good. And yeah, it's looking good. Still got to put my phone stand back on, but that's just a case of clipping it on there. So yeah, all ready for the next ride out. Oh, and of course, we have now got a knot on that side. God knows where that went. I'll have to keep an eye on it. I've got a spare one. I'm going to have to check it after every ride. At least now I know that does tend to come loose for some reason, or maybe it just wasn't tightened up properly. So we'll see how it goes. Okay. If anyone has any questions about the bike, just put it in the comments and I'll answer them, or any of the upgrades that have been done on it, and I'll catch you all later. Oh, just as a side note, I have actually ordered a mic mini to go with this DJI camera. See if that makes any difference to the audio, and when that comes I'll do a review and I'll do a test, see whether it actually makes any difference or not. But for now, I will catch you later on. Cheers now.